617-830-4750. Let's go next to Thomas. Thomas, who we've heard from before. What's going on, Thomas?
Hi, David. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
I was watching some of the hearing yesterday about the rise of white nationalism in the United States, and
Yep.
I felt really bad for some of the people there who had actual concerns, and they had to take a back seat to Candace Owens's
I know.
asinine statements.
Disgusting.
And I know. Here's the thing that I've been noticing about her supporters, though. They seem to sort of not understand the grasp that nationalism can be radicalized to where it can hurt other people. They seem to think that, like, once a leader who's nationalistic decides to hurt his or her own citizens, then it stops becoming nationalism. Which,
yeah, well,
I
listen,
think they're just...
the problem is even bigger than that, honestly, Tom. I mean, you're pointing out something that's true, which is there's a lack of understanding about when we're talking people. There are people who benignly put nationalism in the same camp as sort of just like being patriotic, and as you're pointing out, that's just not accurate. And if you truly understand what nationalism is and how it can be weaponized, you wouldn't be playing so coy with it. Not you, Thomas, I mean, but the people who are. But the fact that the most important discussions that should be had didn't happen really at those hearings, at least in part because of people like Candace Owens. I mean, it's disgusting, and I congratulate Congressman Ted Lieu for playing her Hitler comment during the testimony. I think that was absolutely brilliant.
Oh, speaking of that, I see people like saying like, oh, you took her out of context or whatever, and they share this meme with like her whole response in text, and people are making the same judgment, saying like, you know, that doesn't help her, you posting all that text, that verbatim text of what she said.
No, it makes it worse. And you know what? The other thing is, she responded in the moment with something like, by playing that clip, Ted Lieu is implying he thinks black people are too stupid to figure out the context around what she said. She's playing the race card that she says should not be played. Ted Lieu did nothing having to do with black people. He just played a clip, you know?
And if I could make one more point.
Yeah.
She's at a conference, and the question she was talking about, the question she was answering was having to do with the concept of nationalism. And I'm like, you're gonna talk about nationalism, and the first thing you want to bring up is the first thing you want to bring up is Hitler,
right.
When you're talking about that. And I'm like, why would you even bother to bring that up? I'm pretty sure there are like other people out there who use nationalist policies that have benefited their own people.
Sure, yeah,
but,
right. Like
know,
if you're trying to make
Hitler.
the case that nationalism is relatively benign and or a good thing, then maybe go to someone whose nationalism didn't involve the extermination of the Jews, you know?
Yeah, and it's just that's where I went off on my whole tangent of that, about there being different levels of nationalism. Don't bring up the guy who used his nationalism, aka patriotism, to justify killing his own citizens.
Right.
And then
the worst example of nationalism.
I'm really hoping Candace hears this to just really learn how stupid her comments were and why people are calling her stupid for making those comments.
Yeah, I don't know that she's capable of that sort of degree of self-reflection, but I appreciate the thoughts, Thomas.
Thank you very much, David.
All right. I think Thomas and I may have been on a slight delay there. One of today's David Pakman Show sponsors is Shivome, which provides genetic testing products with the mission of keeping everybody's personal genetic data totally private, making sure that no personal identifying information gets attached to your genetic data when it is stored in their database. Medical researchers can benefit from Shivome's pool of genetic data, but unlike a lot of other genetic testing companies, Shivome ensures that no third parties are able to link you personally with your genetic data. And Shivome actually incentivizes customers for making their anonymized genetic data available to medical researchers. If you opt in to allowing your genetic data to be used for health research, you'll receive vouchers for other genetics services that Shavome offers. Shavome is proud to announce that they are now partnering with Family Care Path at the Cleveland Clinic to integrate their genetic testing resources with Shavome's marketplace of services. You can check out Shavome by going to shavome.io.